What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Betting Edge podcast brought to you by OddsJam.com, home of the number one sports betting tools in the sports betting industry. I am your host, Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. We can be found at all the top social media and podcast platforms. And like always, I'm here to discuss the top Thursday night football bets, week 13. This time, Dallas Cowboys traveling to New Orleans to take on your New Orleans Saints. And we're going to start off with a few notes and nuggets from this football game because a lot's going to ride on who is traveling to New Orleans with Dallas. Now, earlier in the week, there were rumors and reports that Amari Cooper is still dealing with the COVID protocol, still dealing with symptoms. It's a short week. He might not travel. However, today, Amari Cooper did, in fact, travel with Dallas. And I believe at this point, he's been activated from the COVID protocol, which means, barring any type of setback, he's going to play. The same could be said about standout second-year wideout Ceedee Lamb. Missed last week with concussion, missed the week before that, or actually played for a couple of minutes, then he was knocked out of the game with the concussion. Ceedee Lamb also expected back, barring any type of setback. As far as any players who are not expected to play for Dallas, Cedric Wilson, who's been outstanding, he saw a lot of playing time this year with, injuries to Cooper, injuries to Lamb leaving the game, Michael Gallup missing a lot of time, Cedric Wilson dealing with an ankle injury. He is up in the air to play, and a big one here, Ezekiel Elliott. Now, Elliott's been dealing with the knee issue. Elliott in his career has been super durable, one of the most durable running backs in the NFL. And there were reports over the weekend saying, well, Dallas is going to let Ezekiel Elliott rest his knee. Well, I guess Zeke heard those reports, and he's like, I'm not resting my knee. All of a sudden now, not only has Zeke been practicing, but reports are suggesting that he's going to handle a sizable workload facing one of the toughest run defenses in the National Football League. In New Orleans Saints, I believe they're number one in yards allowed, or fewest yards allowed, except when they've played the Philadelphia Eagles in the past two seasons. As far as the Saints end, I don't think they've announced a starting quarterback yet. Taysom Hill earlier in the week was taking first-team reps, but Sean Payton likes to do Sean Payton things. And when he was asked, well, who's your starting quarterback? Is it going to be Taysom? And Sean Payton says, well, we'll see. So most likely it's going to be Taysom Hill, but it could be Trevor Siemian, who, after beating Tampa Bay 5 weeks ago, has dropped 4 straight football games. If you ask me, Buffalo, what they did last week, that's the recipe for Dallas. Use your running backs while you can. But you can pass all over this secondary, and doing a similar or employing a similar game plan what the Buffalo Bills did last week is how you're going to beat this New Orleans Saints team. Now, will New Orleans put up a tougher fight? They should. Listen, they're going to most likely get both Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara back. As far as Ingram, he participated fully in Tuesday's practice. Meanwhile, Alvin Kamara has been limited all week, but he is at least trending in the right direction. So it looks like the Saints' backfield will be healthy. I believe Taysom Hill gives them the best shot to win. But, you never know with Sean Payton. If you ask me, Taysom Hill should have been starting immediately following the Jameis Winston injury. So here at OddsJam.com, I always brag about their tools. I love their tools. And if you go to the odds page, you click on football, we're going to pull up this Cowboys game. We're going to find the best bet to make. So let's open this guy up right here. And we're going to find the best bet to make for tomorrow night's football game. Let's go to the point spread. Actually, let's start with the money line. Dallas, obviously the favorite. The OddsJam perfect line, which they get from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, has this at minus 210. A lot of the top sports books are lingering around there, but the Barstool, Sugar House, Twin Spires, Unibet, they all share similar or the same odds at minus 195. If you're going to bet the Cowboys money line, that's where you want to pick this up. And I'm in New Jersey. Like Sugar House, I believe, is only New Jersey and PA, but they're also affiliated with Bet Rivers in other states. In terms of the point spread, the main line, Dallas, giving 4 points, giving 4.5 points. Obviously, that means the Saints are getting 4.5 points, depending what book you go to. Now, I would feel comfortable taking the Cowboys with 3, giving 3 points. But you're going to seed, odds. You're going to seed a return. So if you believe the Cowboys can win this game by more than 4 points, you're obviously going to take Dallas, giving the 4 points, minus 115. Now, the perfect line, minus 117. Dallas, minus 4. Borgata, BetMGM are your best bets here. If you think they could, if you want to take it at minus 4.5, here's where you're going to get your minus 110 odds. And it's minus 110 across the board, including the OddsJam perfect line. DraftKings has it at minus 120, but everywhere else, minus 110. Now, if you're feeling froggy and you think Dallas, listen, they're pissed off. They lost 3 out of their past 4 games. They're getting their star wide receivers back. They're a superior football team because, listen, outside of losing to Tampa Bay in week 1, the teams that gave Dallas the biggest trouble are out of the NFC. In fact, the 3 losses in the past 4 games have all come to AFC West opponents. The only AFC West opponent they have defeated was the Chargers back in week 2. So something in the AFC West doesn't agree with this Dallas Cowboys football team, but I promise you they've been dominant in every other football game if you've been paying attention. Now, the Saints and the Cowboys, they are familiar with each other. In fact, the past 3 games that they have played, Dallas is 1-2. They have been decided by fewer than 6 points, dating back to 2015, Saints 26-20 overtime, 2018, Dallas 13-10, 2019, 12-10 New Orleans, and now this time around, Dallas is the better football team. There is no more Drew Brees. Obviously, Dak Prescott, it looks like he is 1-1 against the New Orleans Saints and Sean Payton. I believe Dallas will win this football game. Now, the home team is 5-0 against the spread in the past 5 meetings. This is a different Saints team, however. No Drew Brees. The underdog is 9-2 against the spread in the last 11 meetings. So this is saying, hey, take the Saints. It's going to be a close game, and it should be. I also thought last week against Buffalo was going to be a closer game than it was, but the Saints didn't have their 2 top running backs. And also in these games, the under is 4-1 in the past 5 meetings for what that's worth. Now, I do think Dallas is going to come out on fire. They're healthy for the most part. They're getting their guys back. They should be able to pass all over this football team. The Saints at home this season are 1-3. Dallas 3-2 on the road. I wouldn't mind, like, if you're feeling froggy, you can take Dallas and get some maybe fine plus odds with Dallas giving 5.5 points, plus 100 at the Barstool family of sports books. You can get, if you go Dallas -6, if you think they can cover that, you can get plus 112 at the Barstool family of sports books. But if you want to play it safe, just stick to Dallas giving 4. But if you think that, they're going to win by more than 4 points, I would probably take the bump to 5.5, 6. But that's if you think it's going to be a ball game that's more than 4 points. Now, like I said, the past 3 games have been decided by fewer than 6. That makes me want to take Dallas and the 5.5 at plus 105 over at BetMGM or Borgata, or plus 100 at Barstool, whatever is available to you. And in terms of the total in this football game, the main line totals 47.5. I actually like the under in this game. The trends are saying to take the under. In fact, while New Orleans, New Orleans, the total has gone over in 4 out of their past 5 games. It went under last week against Buffalo. Dallas, however, the total has gone under 4 out of their past 5 games, going over last week against the Las Vegas Raiders. So I would take the under 47.5. Get this at the best odds you can. Like if you can get this, let's see, under 47.5, it's pretty much, 110, 105 is your best bet here over at FanDuel. You can go under 48 and get minus 115 odds. But that's about where I would go here. But obviously the best bet minus 105 at FanDuel. At 47.5, taking the under. Let's go to the plus EV page over here at fanduel.com. And what I'm going to do, you can sort this out by percentage. You can sort this out by date and time. I love using the Control F button. You type in Cowboys. It'll take you down to what's available. Now, these odds are updated in real time, which means you got to be fast. And you see this little refresh button here. You hit that. It tells you, it's updated in seconds. Bets could be here 1 minute, not the next. And, there are 2 plus EV bets here. One of which is for Ceedee Lamb's receiving yard total. The play here, it's a plus 2.91% EV expected value wager. It is on the under. Now, the OddsJam perfect line has this at minus 116. It has the over at minus 114, but the play here plus 105 on the under over at Caesars. And Ceedee Lamb has been erratic this season. He's been outstanding at times, but he's also disappointed you. And speaking of, I'm a fantasy football guy, so if you drafted Ceedee Lamb, he really hasn't given you what you drafted him for in quite a few games. And Ceedee Lamb actually does have some of his better games at home. This game is on the road, but the matchup is suggesting that Ceedee Lamb should pop in terms of fantasy. The Saints are giving up the 5th most fantasy production to the wide receiver position. And with Amari Cooper coming back, it could go either way. Cooper could pop, Lamb could pop. There's a shot both pops. But who is Dak Prescott going to go to here? Now, Ceedee Lamb does get the target share. He gets the production. All we need here is 64.5 yards. How many times did he go over under 64.5 yards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games. Ceedee Lamb has gone over that yardage total. So the probability suggests that, hey, Ceedee Lamb, it doesn't take much for him to go over. The games he went under against Kansas City, played 33 offensive snaps. Now, he went over that in the first half against Atlanta. He only played 31 snaps, but that game was over by the first quarter. But the game against Kansas City is when he suffered the concussion, didn't play a full football game. And then that Week 9 game against Denver, he went under. Dallas just didn't show up for that one. And the only other game he went under that total was Week 4 against Carolina. Dallas won the football game, but Ceedee Lamb was really a non-factor at home. So Ceedee Lamb, I would say, I'm going to roll the dice, and I would actually take the over here. Now, minus 114 OddsJam perfect, minus 110 at DraftKings. I would feel comfortable taking the over here because with Amari Cooper expected to come back, and it looks like he will, Ceedee Lamb's not going to be the focal point. They'll probably put the best coverage on Amari Cooper, which means Ceedee Lamb should run wild like Hulkamania in the 80s. The other plus EV bet here is the first half money line on the Dallas Cowboys, minus 191 over at the OddsJam perfect line. The best bet here, minus 165. Bet MGM and over at Borgata for the first half money line. And if you go over everywhere else, DraftKings minus 200. Sugar House minus 200, Score minus 185. So the best odds, obviously, is at BetMGM. This is what's great about OddsJam and the tools over at OddsJam. Why in the world would you take this at minus 200 at Barstool, right? Why? Because they're popular? Why? Because they're cool? No, you're going to go and make this bet over at BetMGM because that's where you're going to get the most money if this bet hits. Don't bet at OddsJam because they're cool and put more money in their pockets. You want the money in your pockets. You want the profitable bet here at OddsJam. You're going to make this bet if you believe Dallas is going to win the first half, and they should. They should dominate this football game. And you're going to take the minus 165 odds over at Borgata or BetMGM. Not a lot of plus EV betting opportunities here, but I'm going to go over some of the other bets that I like. And one of them is Dalton Schultz, his over on receiving yards. And I believe, let's see where we have it set right here for Mr. Dalton Schultz. And it varies, obviously. 42 and a half, 41 and a half. You see a wide range for Dalton Schultz. Now, for 41 and a half, BetMGM, Caesars, DraftKings, the OddsJam perfect line minus 117. If you think you can go over 41 and a half, fine. You're going to take these bets. Now, other places like 42 and a half, you're actually getting worse odds over at the Barstool family. 45 and a half, you can get pretty good odds over at PointsBet for the over there. If you're feeling froggy, you think he goes for 50, you can use the FanDuel escalator prop and get plus 130 odds. And as far as Mr. Dalton Schultz, he's having a breakout year. 47 receptions, 537 yards, 4 touchdowns, 11.4 yards per catch, 66 targets. This guy dominates the snaps in Dallas at the tight end position, even when Blake Jarwin was healthy. So now, as far as going over 50, I don't know. I might fade that one because the Saints are pretty good at defending the tight end, and he's gone over 50 yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. The better bet to make, take the best odds with the best yards. So that means over 41 and a half is probably what you want to be taking. He's gone over 41 and a half yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So now you're not going to get the plus 130 odds. You are taking a risk if you think you can go over 50, but the safer play, 41 and a half yards, minus 115 odds. Like I said, he's hit that. And what I just say, like 8 games? That's the play to make for Dalton Schultz. This is a guy who's seen 7+ targets in back-to-back games. Another one here that I like. Let's find maybe one more player prop that I like. Let's go Dak to go over his passing yard total, because I believe this is a must win. Like I've been saying, like these have been must spots for Dak Prescott, especially last week, especially against Kansas City. But, injuries to the receivers, they did not help. Like, you're asking a lot out of Dak Prescott when you try to beat Kansas City, no Amari Cooper, and then Lamb gets hurt early. Okay, well, go beat the Raiders. He almost did, but again, no Cooper, no Lamb. That's a lot to ask for anybody. And Dak still almost brought them back, but hey, those referees love calling those penalties on Thanksgiving. So as far as total passing yards, Dak Prescott, let's see where we can get this. We can get over 283. You can actually get at FanDuel. FanDuel over 280 and a half at minus 114. Now, if you go to the BetMGMs, if you go to the DraftKings, 283 and a half for 115. So what's the best bet to make here? 280 and a half. You're getting a couple extra yards cushion, and you're getting a little bit more, like a point. Getting a point in terms of odds here at minus 114 at FanDuel. Now, as far as the escalator prop, if you think Dak can go for 300, that's plus 142 at FanDuel. I like Dak to go ballistic here, and he's going to have to. Like, this is that game. This is why you paid Dak Prescott. There's no excuses. You're getting your receivers back. You got your line healthy. You need to go on the road, and Dak needs to show, hey, I'm worth the money. I'm going to get this team back on track, and I'm going to pull out a must-win game on the road. Dak Prescott has gone over 280 yards, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 times this season. Again, with all the stars on this team, there's some games Dak doesn't really have to do a lot. Um, he also missed that game against Minnesota, but last week pops for 375, goes for 296 in week 10 against Atlanta. Really, a lot of that in the first half. But 2 out of his past 3 games, north of 280 passing yards. He's only gone over 300. Let's see, I believe 4 times this season. The Saints give up a ton of production to the quarterback, the second most fantasy production to quarterbacks, which means you can light them up. So if you want to take the escalator prop at plus 142, if he goes north of 300, I think you can do that. But I would probably play it safe and take Dak's passing yard total going over 280 and a half here. All right, guys. Good luck tomorrow night with your betting endeavors. If you're listening right now on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the alert icon so you can be notified anytime OddsJam drops new profitable betting content. My name is Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. We can be found at all the top social media and podcast platforms. Good luck in all of your sports betting endeavors today and especially tomorrow night. Dallas, New Orleans. I'll see you later.